Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your April 2023 tarot card reading. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. So this month is a very exciting month. Now we are going to be talking about the astrology in a separate video, just like I did last month. So be sure to check in the next couple of days to kind of get that astrological forecast update as well. This video, we are focusing on the tarot card predictions. So you are welcome to watch for either your sun, moon, or rising sign, whichever you feel compelled to do. Also, just to keep in mind that if you are a member on the website, don't forget to log in to view the comprehensive reading. If you're not, you can still always just purchase a one-off, just like always. But if you would like to become a member, all that information is in the description box down below. So we're going to keep that short and sweet today. Let's go ahead and get into the reading. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your April 2023 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead and open up the channel with a card from my intuitive deck here. So what does Sagittarius need to know for April 2023? Okay, I feel like things are getting louder for you. Okay, but I think that's a good thing. Because it's motivating and it makes you feel really connected to what you're doing and what you're building. And I think there's a lot of people involved, which can, I'm not saying every Sagittarius is extroverted, but I do think this will have positive effects on both the introverts and extroverts out there. It really kind of feeds your creativity, feeds your soul, and feeds kind of that sense of purpose. And this could be something small that you just have going on at home, or it could be something bigger that you have going on at work with your career. But there does seem to be, actually, now that I'm kind of getting to the end, I started with Aries and now I'm all the way down to Sagittarius. So a big theme through almost all of the readings thus far has been that April is a period of acceleration. Things start to move faster. Things start to really actually find some sense of direction, and you have some sense of grip or tangibility with everything, and it feels so much more real. I wouldn't be surprised if that Gemini retrograde that was going on at the beginning of August, now I know that finished in the middle of March. Well, actually, I'm sorry, at the end of March. I know that was over, but I know having Mars in Gemini was just really all over the place. And so when he comes in, or he came into Cancer on the 25th of March, and so he offers us some kind of a focal point. And I think that focal point is going to be so great for Sagittarius, because where everything was kind of just bleh, now all of a sudden it comes together, and all the energy that was spent going in these million different directions is now all uniform and cohesive and all working in the same direction, which means, well, yeah, that momentum is definitely going to start building. So let's see what comes through with the major arcana for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know for April 2023? Through for Sagittarius for April 2023. The Hermit, kind of, okay, well, I'm not going to say it's contradictory. I think it's more complementary, okay? So while you have all this stuff going on, it is still going to be really important for you to take your time. One, take your time by yourself to process and really think through things, but also take your time with things. Mars in Gemini had a really rushed quality to it. It was like, hurry up, and all this stuff is all of a sudden happening. Like I say, it's just very bleh all over. And now that you have some semblance of focus, now you can kind of pace yourself. We have first of all, we have Mars, which is a masculine planet in feminine Cancer, and Cancer can certainly slow down or cool down that Mars energy. We also have Mercury in Taurus, which is a much slower energy than Aries. Plus we have Saturn in Pisces, which again, Saturn kind of gets cooled down here in Pisces. So it's not a race right now, the way it may have felt like a race lately. It's not a race. There's no rush. There is no pressure. So make sure you take time to digest things. If people give you new ideas or people show up, make sure you check in with yourself. You think through it. Maybe you ask, advisors or counselors or friends or whatever, hey, what do you think of this and that? I think you'll be really, really happy if you do that. And that will add to the productivity of everything, because instead of making rash decisions and jumping into things that ultimately could lead to, having to pedal backwards later on, if you're more methodical about it going forward, then you alleviate a lot of mistakes from the very beginning. Okay? So let's take a look here at who do you need to be aware of that is in your environment this month, who is showing up that is of importance for you right now, Sagittarius. A Knight of Cups. This Knight of Cups has been coming out quite a bit. I actually don't mind him. I don't really know how involved he's going to be in your story, Sagittarius. He's going in the other direction, so he's kind of leaving. Some of you might be experiencing someone leaving your life. Like if you own a company, this might be an employee leaving. Or it could be a friend going off and doing whatever. I don't know that this is going to be so problematic for you. We'll see what the rest of the cards have to say, but I'm not sensing that this is a gut-wrenching thing. If there is an emotional connection with this with this Knight of Cups, it can be hard to see someone move on. But again, with that Hermit, I think you have the wisdom and knowledge and tools and skills to really deal with that in a higher level, higher vibrational, self-aware kind of way. Doesn't mean you won't still feel the emotion associated with it, but at least you can cope with it. I do sense this Knight of Cups. I don't know why this just came into my head, but it was like they were never supposed to stay. So I don't know what that means, but they were never supposed to stay. They were always supposed to be, I guess we could use the word transient or, come in and out. Let's see what else the cards have to say before I go too far down that rabbit hole, because I could say a whole bunch of things, but let's just keep it really open to see if we can get more information. What else does Sagittarius need to know for April 2023? Strength. Okay. For some reason, I feel that this Knight of Cups may have kind of a slow down effect. So while there's this kind of everything is getting bigger, everything is focusing in, everything is starting to accelerate, here's someone who either can't handle it or they can't adapt quickly enough or they just don't feel ready or whatever the case is. So this is a blessing, I feel, to have this Knight of Cups sort of not be super involved. If they were involved, I think it would cramp your style. I look at the Strength card. This clearly speaks to having to exhibit strength, which means there is something hard that you may need to deal with. You may need to actualize your courage, I am feeling with this Ace of Swords, there's an element of honesty with everything. And I do think with Mercury coming into Taurus, it's going to connect with that North Node. It's going to be in pre-shadow. There is a requirement for honesty throughout April. And whatever the honest conversation is, whether it's what you have with yourself or you have with another person, but whatever that honest conversation is, ultimately it is opening the door for you, Sagittarius, to invite greater wealth and prosperity into your experience. And I think that's a part of the knowledge and a part of the knowing that you hold. You know that you are ready for this growth period. Now, with Pluto now in your third house, there is going to be a lot of movement here, a lot of experimentation for Sag. Your second house of money gets cleared up. We're not fully out of the woods yet. It'll take a couple of years of that transition, but this is really the first full month, April, the first full month with Pluto not in your second house. And I think already we're starting to see the Capricorn house, whatever sign you are, really clearing. And whatever is... Maybe this Knight of Cups was associated with Pluto in your second house, and maybe it is just simply time for them to move on, because as the second house clears out, they have to clear out too. But you're opening a massive channel for yourself, Sagittarius, okay? And I think there's going to be high honors and more prestige, more recognition, more money, better people, just all around. So let's see what comes through here for the second row of cards for Sagittarius. We have the Devil, King of Wands, and the Empress. So you're clearly the King of Wands here. And I really love the Three of Wands with the Empress, right? Number three. So this is like, well, we only have 2 rows here. We'll see what the third row says. But already this particular column feels like the prosperity column to me. The Empress, creation, abundance, and really with her, it's like infinite abundance. You know, she never has to stress about her resources, ever. She has so much faith and so much connection with spirit that she knows she's going to be taken care of in every and all ways. And she has this unwavering faith. Okay, that's what's so beautiful about the Empress. And to have that be associated with the Three of Wands, which is about good things coming in, it tells me that it might be better than you think or better than you realize. With the devil and strength, okay, here's the reason why you need to exhibit strength, the devil, okay, there might be a challenge to your ego. It may have to do with this Knight of Cups. It might also require a great deal of discipline. And if sometimes that Ace of Swords can be very difficult to contend with as well. Honesty always sounds good on paper, but in actual practice, sometimes it can be one of the hardest things that we as human beings have to do, you know, to have those open and honest and full transparency types of conversations. You know, I always say an Ace of Swords, like it's a sword, it's a weapon, it's not a teddy bear. It's not meant to come in and give you a big hug, right? This is cut through all the BS and cut through the delusion, and it's going to bust your bubble. Or, you know, it's like sometimes it has a big pop sound, like when you pop a balloon. It's like pow, all of a sudden your whole world shifts, and that can be hard. You know, that's not always an easy thing. And so here's the devil, which is like when that balloon pops, all of a sudden you are going to have a shadow element creeping up. You know, you're going to have to dig deep within yourself to find resilience, to find your passion, to find your perseverance. But I think that's the only option for Sagittarius with this first card. It's like things are just getting bigger. Things are just getting better. You are just focusing in. You are just finding your footing. You're finding that focal point. and that focal point really is the only option. So regardless of what happens, you're still going after that target, right? And with the King of Wands, here's that powerful fire component that says, this is something that's inside of me that just has to come out. This is one of the beautiful things about fifth house transits. I really like fifth house transits for you, Sag. Well, for everybody, I like it, but I like it for the fire signs because it's ruled by another fire sign. You have the elements always lining up with the houses, which is always really nice. So it's like really stirring and brewing, and it's, fifth house is a house of self-expression. Like, it has to come out here. It has to be said, it has to be created, it has to be made, it has to be initiated. Really, the fifth house is where manifestation really begins, okay? In the physical world anyway. So I see, regardless of what happens, regardless of that balloon popping, regardless of someone leaving, regardless of whatever, you're powering forward. I really don't think Sagittarius is stoppable right now. While you may be doing it more methodically with this Hermit, but you're doing it nonetheless. And it's all for the sake of this prosperity. The thing with this Three of Wands and the Empress is that everyone in your life benefits. This is not just about you. This is about your family members, your spouse. It's about the companies that you work for. It's about your clients. It's about like everything, It's about your quality of life as well. There's a lot of benefactors for your success. What else, Sagittarius? What else do you need to know for the month of April? Beautiful. Three of Coins. Love to see it. Nine of Wands. So Nine of Wands is clearly connected with Mars in Cancer. Ooh, another Knight of Cups. Also moving out of the reading. I feel like this is someone now that I'm seeing that Nine of Wands, I'm like, I don't think this is someone you want to be building with. This is someone you're purposefully keeping out. See, Mars in Cancer, Mars in the 8th house, it's a very protective Mars transit. People are getting really protective. This is not a time to be blabbing your mouth and sharing everything that you have going on. This is about privacy and even secrecy, but not like toxic secrecy, okay? But it's like keeping it away from the people that don't need to know. So, well, we could say on a need to know basis, right? Then that's it. Seems like you want to keep this Knight of Cups out, because you've got something wonderful going on here. But clearly this kind of feels like a ricochet almost. I think there is a little bit going on behind the scenes for Sagittarius. You might even be kind of working a little bit overtime. Because again, especially if this is something that you love doing or that you really care about or you see a massive upside to it, there's going to be a lot of motivators. Like you actually feel motivated to do it. You feel motivated to go into the office or work longer hours, or you feel motivated to make those big phone calls or whatever it is that need to be done. Like you're feeling the juice coming through, the mojo. And it feels good to have that mojo back. It feels good to have that juice, because without it, it feels like you're on autopilot. It feels like you're in zombie mode, and that's never good for anybody. But in order to protect that juice and that energy surge and that creativity and that productivity, There are certain people that can't be involved. For some reason, I feel like I want to say the word leak. Like this Knight of Cups feels like a leakage. And maybe there's a lack of trust there. Maybe if you were to share what was going on here, you can't trust them to keep it secret or to keep it on the DL. Like I have people that I have in my life that I love to death, but I will not tell them stuff, because even if you're like, okay, well, don't tell anyone, super top secret, they're going to blab it like 5 minutes later. Like I dated a guy once, Mercury in Pisces. I could not forget it. Okay, he was a Mercury in Pisces, and I would tell him really personal stuff. And I know for a fact that he was telling his hairdresser, who just happened to have a mutual friend. And I would know every single time that he would tell her stuff, because the mutual friend would like check in with me on that really private stuff that I never told her. So I feel like there might be some kind of a gossipy or a lack of boundary or some kind of an information or energy leak going on here, which is why you're like, nope, not involved. I can't have you be a part of this. I can't tell you stuff. So you might as well just go focus on something else. Okay. And again, that might be hard for you. You may really love your Knight of Cups or really care about them. But for the sake of everyone involved, for the sake of the prosperity that's coming through here, it is not worth it to sacrifice for the sake of someone's feelings when they don't really have a lot of self-control. Okay? So we're going to pull out the clarifiers now. For those of you who are new, the clarifiers are the cards we cover in the comprehensive reading. All the info is in the description box down below. And if you're a member, you can always log in and just access it at the top of the members area. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So it's kind of like a whole separate reading. Okay, so let's get started. So with the Hermit, we have the Queen of Wands, we have the World. I like that you're coming out all fiery. I like when the elements match. It's always a good sign. Ooh, and another Three of Wands. Beautiful. Definitely loving that for you. We have, a Two of Wands in the environment. Sorry. Have Five of Wands, okay, and a Magician. All right, next deck. Clarifying the Strength card. What does Sagittarius need to know about this Strength card here? Three of Cups. Oh, goodness. I will take the top two. Nine of Swords and a Magician. Ace of Swords. Ten of Wands. Six of Wands. Ooh, and another King of Wands. Oh, beautiful. The Sun. The Eight of Cups and that King of Swords, kind of chasing off that Knight of Cups there. I think we're seeing the fierce side of Sagittarius this month. We have Temperance, Two of Coins, Knight of Coins. For the King of Wands, we have the Nine of Wands, Queen of Cups, beautiful Ten of Coins, another Ace of Swords, Four of Coins, and a High Priestess. Beautiful Eight of Wands. There's the acceleration. We have the Hierophant. and the Emperor. Nine of Coins. Oh, a Knight of Cups. Another Knight of Cups, huh? And a Nine of Cups. Yeah, exactly. Three of Swords. The Lovers. And the Page of Swords. Okay. Lots to talk about for this, Sagittarius. So again, if you want to join me, all the info down below in the description box. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.